You create your world with your imagination. In this video, I want to talk about 2 visualization techniques I promise you've never heard about. So the first one has to do with how you visualize yourself. So whether you're first person perspective or third person perspective. And the second technique has to do with where in your mind you visualize, whether it's in front of you, whether it's in the back of you, whether it's top left, top right, so on and so forth. So let's get started with the perspective technique. So there's some really interesting research that came out a few years ago. Well, there's opposite research, and I'm going to give you my take on it. So the previous research looked at people who are depressed. People who are depressed tend to visualize themselves in a third person perspective in their mind. And people who are happy tend not to. That was the old research. Now the new research suggests the following, that when you visualize vividly, which is the key, vividly and in a good mood, which is also the other key, from a third party perspective, you tend to be more optimistic and to reduce your stress. When you visualize from a first person perspective, you tend to not be more optimistic, but to increase your confidence in your ability to do things. The way you visualize, the perspective in which you visualize is going to have a different effect on the visualization. Now, here's my suggestion. Always visualize in 2 perspectives. First person perspective and third person perspective. In this way, you get the best of both worlds. However, if you don't feel really good right now, I would suggest not to visualize from a third party perspective. Here's why. My idea is that the reason why the research before suggested that people who are depressed tend to see themselves from a third person perspective is because when you are detached, you tend to put yourself in other people's shoes and see yourself like other people would see you. And if you already have a negative self-concept, then that's going to transpose to the way you believe other people see you, and that's going to increase the depression. On the other hand, if you're positive about yourself and you visualize from a third party perspective, it's going to make you look like from a third party, like people see you positively, and it's going to increase the positive feeling, the optimism. So it really depends on your internal state, whether you feel positive or not positive. If you feel positive, always visualize in 2 ways, first person and third person. So now let's move to the second point, which is going to play with that also, with the optimism. So what I want to do is talk about something that's called neuro-linguistic programming. And we're going to look at the work of 2 people, which is Richard Brandler and Erik Erikson. Now, neuro-linguistic programming really has to do with how the brain works. And we don't need to understand everything about how the brain works, but we just need to do the exercises, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go take a piece of paper, put pause, go take a piece of paper, and by the way, if you like the information in this video, please go ahead, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you liked exactly and the effect of the visualization, okay? So go take a piece of paper, and I want you to close your eyes and visualize something that you know for sure is going to happen. Like, if I was to say, do you believe that the sun is going to come up tomorrow? What's the first thing that came to mind? Did you hear something in your mind? Did you see a sunset? Did you feel it somewhere in your body? I want you to really take some time to look at something you believe 100% to be true, like the sun will come out tomorrow, I 100% believe that. Or if I don't breathe, I die. Yes or no? Yes. Correct? Or if I don't breathe for 2 minutes, if you want to be precise or something like that, right? So think about something you believe to be 100% true. And then I want you to understand what the quality of the visualization is. Is it vivid? Do you see the answer? Do you see the picture in your mind in full color? Is it muted? Is there scent? Is there sounds? Do you hear yourself say yes or yourself say no? Is it your voice? Is it somebody else's voice? Understand the quality of what a true belief is represented in your body and where it is represented in your body. This is really, really, really important. So I want you to write all the details down. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to flip it around. And I want you to look at something that you have doubts in. So it could be something like, when I go to the grocery store today, what am I going to buy? Or should I eat a tomato sandwich or a cheese sandwich? Or should I call my mom now or in an hour? Right? Something you're not 100% sure about, something you have doubts with. And I want you to go through the same exercise as you did. So where is it that you see it in your mind? Is it up, down, left, right? Is it vivid? Is it muted color? Do you hear sounds? Do you hear answers? And I want you to notice the difference between a belief that you believe 100% to be true and what you have doubts in. There will be a slight difference. It might be a feeling in your body. It might be a location. For me, when personally I believe something to be 100% true, I feel it here on the top of my head, and it's a strip like this. For me personally, when something is a belief that is, I'm not too sure about, it's going to be more here in this section of my body, of my visual field. And the color is going to be a little bit different. So I know for me personally, there's a different location that I see it in. When I'm not too sure about, it's a little bit more small. When I'm very sure about it, it's a little bit more wide. But everybody is a little bit different, okay? So that means that when you do your visualization for, state akin to sleep, or which other technique that you want to visualize in the portion that is a true belief, that you believe 100%, like the sun is going to come up tomorrow. For me, I feel it here in front of me, and a little bit more on this side, like the feeling is here. So you need to visualize with the same emotion, the same way as you would think the sun is coming up tomorrow. That will turn it into a strong belief. If you visualize it in the portion where you have doubts, well, that's not going to happen because you have doubts about it. Now, there's a corner of your mind, of your eyes, that is for fear. There's a corner that is for this and that, for different aspects of your life, for different emotions. So go through different experiences and see how each experience feel. And make sure that when you visualize your ideal self and your ideal future, you visualize it in the spot where you have strong belief that it is going to happen 100% of the time, like the sun is going to come up tomorrow. So if that was helpful, please go ahead, leave a thumbs up, give it a like, and put some comments down below to let me know if this technique is useful for you. Cheers, and bye for now.